willing to feel the grief, like what you just said, and I've asked this question before, if we're willing to feel the grief and we long for God's love, then we will be sincere in our prayer and we'll receive the love.
That's right.
We don't have to release the grief, but we want to.
When you say you don't have to release the grief, the releasing of the grief will be a natural part of receiving the love if you want to continue receiving it.
Yeah, but I'd want to, when I'm praying, I'd want to feel about the thing.
Well, now you're trying to make a whole set of rules instead of just listening to the principle. The principle is every time you lie to yourself, you are creating fears. The purpose of the lie is to avoid your grief. If you are lying to yourself, you can't sincerely pray and expect to receive love. You follow? Because it's not sincere. You've got to be sincere. Now, in being sincere, as you receive love, grief will be exposed. And the lies will be exposed and you'll be able to feel them. That's a natural process. What you're trying to do now is because you've got fear about your grief. You understand?
Yeah, I want to dive in.
You want to avoid your grief still. And that now you're asking questions in order to try to avoid your grief still. And I'm going, well, no, I've already told you can't avoid your grief. You're going to have your grief. You're not going to be able to avoid it in using any method. Now, you can say you're willing to feel your grief, but if you're not feeling it right now, you're not willing. Isn't that true? Mm-hmm. If you have grief in you now, and you're not feeling it now, then it means you're unwilling.
I've got a massive headache.
Yeah. So you need to be willing. And the trick is to become willing to feel your grief. Yeah. And isn't that something we can all pray about? Being more willing, learning how to... the only reason why you're unwilling to feel grief is because of the lies you tell yourself about grief. The principle of feeling grief is the same as your principle of feeling any other thing associated with grief with any other thing. And that is, so your worries about feeling emotion are really the same as your worries about any other thing. And that is, they're all created as lies so you don't have to feel them. So the worry you have about your emotion is just your fears being dominant, the lies being dominant about your emotion. So what, we've raised this with you many, many times. What are your beliefs about feeling emotion? Be honest about them. Stop lying to yourself about them. You feel it's crazy to feel emotion. You feel it's unacceptable. You feel you're not going to be able to cope. You feel it's going to be terrible. You feel these are feelings that you're telling yourself about emotion. So feel those truths rather than tell yourself lies. That makes sense? The very first truth that is important for you to feel is really the truth about emotion. You understand? Yep. And it's the lies you tell yourself about emotion that stop you feeling every other thing. Do you follow what I'm saying? Yeah. If you've got a global blockage to feeling emotion, any kind of emotion, can you see you must be telling yourself lies about emotion? So when you say, I've got to feel emotion, you're telling yourself a lie about emotion. You don't got to feel it. God gives you the freedom to feel it or not. When you tell yourself these things, you're telling yourself lies about emotion. The net effect is you won't feel emotion. Now I'm saying you have to feel emotion in order to progress. Dominantly, a lot of the emotion is going to be grief, is an emotion. To feel the grief, you've got to have to stop telling yourself lies about it. You can handle it. It's going to be okay. It's going to end up good. Not bad. You understand? At the moment, you want to keep telling yourself that emotion is bad. Emotion is bad. Emotion is bad. It's a lie. Stop telling yourself the lie. And you'll start feeling emotion. Make sense? And it will be real. Okay. And the fact that you got a headache, by the way, Mum, means
I'm avoiding my grief.
that's right. You don't want to feel emotion.
Yeah.
So be honest, you know. That's where you need to start. I don't want to feel it. That's the truth. That's the truth you can tell yourself. But it'd be more important to ask you why, you know, and that's a lot about false beliefs you have about emotion. You think it's bad, you think it is, in fact, you think you're weak if you feel it, you know, you think you're not being powerful if you feel it. You think other people are going to control you if you feel it. And you've got a lot of false beliefs about emotion. The reality is, more and more, you find that the more you feel emotion, the less control people have over you, not more. Right? More control you have over your life, not less. You know, there's a whole heap of things that are untrue just about emotion. But again, it's the same principle. The principle is you lie to yourself so you don't have to feel. Yep. And I can feel that some of you don't get it still, that's okay, but we need to start at this point where you begin to even intellectually grasp that the reason why things are not working is because you're choosing to not feel some things, and the fear is just lies that you tell yourself to not feel.
So I don't get it. Like I'm saying, I get it, but I don't.
No, you don't get it. So
I don't get it.
you need to meditate it about what I've just said and pray about it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, you don't want to get it, so you need to meditate it and pray about it and ask yourself whether you ever want to get it. You're capable of getting it. Yeah? Everybody on earth, a child is capable of understanding this. So you're capable of understanding it. If you don't want to understand it, then it's because you don't want to. So start there. Be honest. I don't want to. You're allowed to not want to. God's given you free will. You're allowed to choose to not want to do something. Okay. How's that for everyone? Okay.
Thank you. Thanks.
So what we want to do is focus on, my suggestion to you is focus on receiving the love, but if you don't want to feel your feelings, you're not going to receive any, and you need to deal with why you don't want to feel your feelings, whatever that reason is. Stop telling yourself lies about your feelings. You can handle them, they're fine, you're not going to die from it, you're not going to become a psychotically unstable person feeling your feelings. In fact, the way you become psychologically unstable is by not feeling them. The way you die is by not feeling them. Good on.
Thank you.
All right, now we got a bit of a break now, haven't we?